Manatee County Schools is just weeks away from its first day, and the district still hasn't hired any guardians. I'll have a live report just ahead.
Plus, new details about the man who was struck and killed by lightning on Siesta Key.
And a look at the final design plan for Sarasota's Bayfront. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Topping our news, in a short 7 weeks, Manatee County students will head back to class. And still, not a single school guardian has been hired to protect and serve elementary school students. Hundreds
of candidates from across the country have applied for the job, but will those that are hired be in Manatee County and trained before the start of the school year? ABC7's Jess Dowdwick got answers today. She joins us now live with what parents can expect and students on that first day of school. Jess, what can you tell us?
Jacqueline, Scott, it sounds like there will be a mix of SROs and guardians in Manatee County elementary schools come August 13th. The district says that some of these guardians will be ready to go, but others won't be trained until September.
I don't know many people who are willing to take a bullet for somebody else's kids for $23 an hour.
Bridget Heffernan Mendel has twins in Manatee County schools. She hates the thought of having guardians protecting students instead of school resource officers.
Many of us in Manatee County do not want to see people armed coming in off the street. Unfortunately, SROs are a great deal more expensive, but that's what we have to do.
Despite the protests, the school board is moving forward with school guardians for elementary schools and SROs for middle and high schools. We're now 7 weeks away from the first day of school, and not one guardian has been hired.
We held over 100 interviews last week with the candidates. All those candidates were drug tested, and then we'll be going through the background and fingerprinting process.
Out of the 250 applicants, the district narrowed the pool down to 100. In the end, the district only wants to hire 35 guardians, but after the drug test, background check, and psychological exam, the district expects some attrition.
We have a lot that have law enforcement background, a lot that have been retired, but some are also nearing their retirement, and so they're looking at maybe retiring early.
4 weeks of training is needed for these applicants to become guardians. That's expected to start in the middle of July. But not all candidates can be ready by then.
If we're short in any area, we're going to continue to do what we have done in second semester, and that is bring in local law enforcement officers that want to work overtime.
The goal is to have all guardians trained and in schools by the end of September. According to the school district, the police departments in Holmes Beach, Palmetto, and Bradenton have enough officers to put SROs in the schools that are in their cities. Now, according to the district, Holmes Beach and Palmetto have already agreed on a contract to split the cost 70-30. The school district is still working with Bradenton. Reporting live in Manatee County, Jess Dowdwick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. New details on that deadly lightning strike on Siesta Key. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office tells us 33-year-old James Barton of Seffner, which is outside Tampa, died after being hit yesterday afternoon. Happened around 2:15 on the beach behind the Pepper Tree Bay condos along Midnight Pass Road. Witnesses say they tried to give Barton CPR before paramedics took him to the hospital, but it was too late. His mother remembers the last conversation she had with him.
I asked him, I send him a scripture every day. And I asked him if he got a scripture. He said, yep. And I said, just make sure you pray. You don't know when your last day is.
Coming up at 6, we'll hear more from Barton's mom, a witness who saw the lightning strike, and we'll have safety tips from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan on how to prevent this tragedy from happening again.
Well, that afternoon storm that rocked the Suncoast yesterday was packed with lightning. Several ABC7 viewers sent us some incredible photos of lightning strikes. David Freyer says these pictures show lightning strikes about 200 yards to the north of the Ringling Causeway. And you may have seen this photo that's been shared on the Suncoast. Another ABC7 viewer, Dylan John Wade Cox, sent us this amazing picture of a lightning strike. He says the bolt hit a boating marker in Sarasota Bay about 100 yards off of the shoreline of Bird Key Park, while a boat passed in the background. We want to remind you, if you happen to take some great pictures of severe weather here on the Suncoast, make sure to share them with us. All you have to do is email them to pix@mysuncoast.com.
And we have more storms. We're now right this afternoon again today. So let's get a check on that forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, the dangers of lightning, it can happen here in the afternoon for the most part, but we do have the potential for morning storms too that are also very dangerous. And you can see the outflow boundary right here racing across the northwest. This is going to fire some storms near Parrish here in just a little bit, but the ones that are producing lightning now over Sarasota getting very close to Longboat Key, and it doesn't have to be raining where you're at to get hit by lightning. They can get bolts from the blue that can come out ahead of the storm and actually cause significant problems there. So again, folks on Longboat Key, you're close enough to hear the thunder. I know we have had some here at the studio as well near Osprey and I-75. Torrential downpours all along I-75 all the way down to Venice and into Northport. Still getting some lightning strikes there. The ones you see in blue here are the positive strikes, which contain more amperage or more power and can kill instantly at times. The majority of lightning that occurs are negative strikes that don't have as much power but still are life-threatening. And you can see that right now. We had a couple of strikes just recently within the last 5 minutes there on Clark Road near 41, spreading off toward, again, it looks like this is Fruitville, I should say, off toward Lido and also on into St. Armand Circle. So again, if you're out here, you're close enough to get hit by these lightning strikes coming out pretty heavy now at the Meadows. And you can see it stretches all the way down along I-75 near State Road, near 64. We're starting to get some storms there too in Manatee County. Well, more on our weather coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. After months of planning and meeting with the community, designers for the Bay Sarasota have finally narrowed several development plans into one master plan. The design team says many people are happy about the final plan that would include an outdoor event lawn and amphitheater, potential for a floating stage, ferry and water taxi service, and improvements to existing boat ramps. It also includes the Van Wezel, which many felt should not be torn down. Now this plan has to go before the City Commission for final approval.
We'll go before the commission in September 6th, early September 6th, with the master plan, and we're having a workshop with them this evening. And so the whole idea is once we get city approval, then we can start moving towards implementation and realization of the master plan.
Also tonight, the Van Wezel Foundation will be meeting with the City Commission to discuss the need for a new performing arts building, one that will allow it to compete with other performing arts halls in the area. Now, if approved, the city would have to find ways to repurpose the current Van Wezel building.
ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joining us now. And Richard, a bit of a rough start to the new week on Wall Street.
And if you recall, last week was not exactly a walk in the park. We finally hit an up day on Friday, so we broke the 8-day losing streak, and we started a new one. And we started it in spades, and the reason starts with a T. It's called tariffs. Yes, we're hearing all about tariffs. We're seeing markets going down sharply. We saw a Dow today that was down by 497 points at the low of the day. No, we didn't close there. And certainly the NASDAQ, which has had the FANG stocks on fire. That's, remember, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. I'll get it out yet. All of them sharply lower for the day, and the NASDAQ the weakest, which had been the strongest. So let's take a look and see where we finished the day. Well, it's not 497, but 328 points isn't exactly pretty. A loss of 1 1/3%, 24,252.80. That on heavy volume of 1,287,000,000 shares. The NASDAQ, as I say, the biggest hit of the day, down 2.1%, 161 points, closing at 7,532.01. That on volume of 2,347,000,000 shares. And there's the S&P down by almost 1.4%, 38 points at 2,717.07. Well, that T word, tariffs, coming home, and it came home to my hometown of Milwaukee today when a company by the name of Harley-Davidson, which has been in Milwaukee for a very long time, said it is going to start making some of its motorcycles outside of the U.S., that to avoid the additional tariff of 6% jumping all the way to 31%. Harley also said they are not going to pass that along to consumers. They're going to eat that cost themselves. That will cost them at least $35 million this year alone. Could cost them as much as $100 million next year. And exactly what the future holds, certainly we don't know. But I can tell you in the short term, Harley shares fell by 6% today. That's a pretty big hit, even in a down market. Not pretty.
So another T word is tax, a tax workshop coming up.
Yes, exactly. Wednesday afternoon, and if you can still get to us, we'd love to have you stop by Wednesday at 1 o'clock. If you'd like to come, just send us a quick email, thesternGroup@rwbaird.com, or you can give us a call at 906-2838.
All right.
Fun and games on Wall Street.
Yeah, some good information there. Thank you, Richard.
You're very welcome.
Still to come, wildfires ripping through California. What areas are facing the biggest risk tonight?
And thunderstorms are back on the Suncoast. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan lets us know where they're heading. Plus, the FDA approves the first cannabis-based drug. What this medication will be used to treat. Coming up.
The ABC7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
How can you help a grieving friend? I'm Joey Panic. On Suncoast View, we chat with the Senior Friendship Center about special grief counseling specifically for the LGBT community. Sarasota Contemporary Dance brings us an exciting preview of their latest work. Plus, a Suncoast filmmaker talks his unique action fantasy series made right here on the Suncoast. And we meet a local vet turned chef in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here's today's Job of the Day. ABC7 is seeking a part-time news specialist for live news broadcasts, a public affairs show, and paid programs. Visit mysuncoast.com/joboftheday to apply.
Raging wildfires are sending thousands fleeing from their homes across the West. The Pawnee fires, it's being called, in Northern California, exploding over the weekend, burning 8,200 acres and destroying 22 homes. That blaze, one of more than 50 large fires burning across the nation. ABC's Natalie Brunell gives us a look at the destruction.
The Pawnee fire raging out of control, devouring bone-dry brush in Lake County, California, gutting more than 20 homes, threatening at least 600 more.
We've been through this 4 times, and this was the first time I really felt like we were in danger.
More than 250 firefighters attacking the blaze from the air and dousing flames on the ground, evacuated residents in distress.
It's been very difficult 24 hours not to know if your animals yourselves are okay, or your house is okay, or your neighbors are okay.
The massive Pawnee Fire, one of 5 infernos igniting in California. In Oregon, the Boxcar Fire scorching an area twice the size of Washington, D.C. And across the nation, more than 50 large fires now raging. The long summer days posing a greater challenge.
There's a lot of heating and a lot of light exposure on these fuels, which only increases the fire behavior.
As hundreds wait to return home, this early fire season activity sparking a terrifying reminder of the deadly 2017 wildfires in California that destroyed thousands of homes and claimed more than 40 lives. A red flag warning and wind advisory are in effect in parts of Northern California, which could see wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour. Governor Jerry Brown has issued a state of emergency. Natalie Brunell, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Here in Florida, firefighters in the Panhandle are also battling a serious wildfire. The fire in the small town of East Point, which is in Franklin County, has already damaged more than 30 homes. Around 200 people are now displaced. The fire broke out Sunday evening, and the Red Cross is now helping the victims. This morning, Governor Rick Scott met with officials in Franklin County and toured the damage. Scott says he's offering Franklin County any state resources that are needed. I guess pretty dry at times in places up there.
Yeah, not here at all. It's been very wet. But getting back to the lightning story, obviously that's the big story weather-wise, and people have to realize that lightning kills, and it kills more people than hurricanes each year in Florida. We are in the #1 state of getting lightning deaths here in the state of Florida. And I have to go back to 1991 on Siesta Key when there were 3 people walking down the beach, 2 one way, another one the other way, and 2 of them died, and that was in 1991. I talked to the sister of the twin that experienced that. She got knocked out, obviously, and being out there on the beach, you're the tallest object, and so walking is not advisable when storms are around. This is 2017 data. I wanted to show you, we actually went down from 40 deaths in 2016 to 16 in the entire United States. There are the locations, there what they were doing, camping, and this one was walking on the beach here, Satellite Beach. Again, construction workers are most vulnerable, and also farm workers. We've had 2 deaths in the state of Florida thus far this year in 2018, and one of those obviously was yesterday on Siesta Key Beach. The other one was a migrant worker, again, out in the middle of a field when there's storms around, and that is a potential dangerous situation there. You can see flat, calm conditions out there in the water. It's pretty nice out there right now at Casey Key, but you're close enough to get hit by lightning, even on the beach, even if it's not raining there. And I'll show you a picture of this on the radar in just a minute. You can see the progression southeast and northwest. That's fairly typical. We have this west coast sea breeze that's here, and as this line runs into it, the storms have a tendency to converge, or at least the wind does, and that causes the storms to increase in vertical, and that causes the storms to generate lightning. We're starting to see a lot of that too. Notice this cell right here in Manatee County is really flared up. And as we zoom in here, you'll see there has been some lightning, quite a bit of it right there in the rain area. These blue bolts indicate the stronger of the lightning. And then notice this one right here. I wanted to show you this one. This is outside of the rain area near Bayshore Gardens. Notice that's a couple of miles northwest of the rain, and there's a lightning strike detected right there near El Conquistador Parkway, near the golf course, not too far away from it as well. And a lot of people outdoors there. So again, remember, if you can hear the thunder, you're close enough to get hit by these bolts from the blue. And obviously when it's raining, you want to seek shelter as well. But even before that, you want to get indoors. That's the best possible place to be during the lightning. Heavy rainfall causing some problems too for drivers along I-75 from near Venice and northward all the way into Fruitville Road this afternoon, with tremendous lightning occurring there as well. And down to street level, you can see that heavy rainfall near Televast Road, near US 301. Driving not advisable right now. Even at the airport, starting to get some rain up near Whitfield Estates. And it looks like these showers and storms will be around for the next hour or so, and then things will start to calm down once again after, say, 6, 7 o'clock tonight. But there's still a lot of rain out there. There's still a lot of thunder and lightning that are going to occur as a result of that convergence setup right along the coast. So the forecast tomorrow does call for a chance for scattered showers again tomorrow afternoon and evening. Temperatures will warm to seasonal averages into the upper 80s, with a heat index, though, up near 100. For boaters tomorrow, southeast winds turn to the southwest at 10 knots. Seas will be 1 to 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The 7-day forecast then, this should be a 30% chance for storms, and then pretty much the same story right through Friday. So the rain chances will go down a little bit, and that's the result of more of a westerly wind. They'll still be around, but not as many. a better chance for storms come Sunday or Saturday and Sunday as a result of a tropical, little tropical moisture moving on in. Well, much more on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Let's get to first alert traffic. The north and southbound lanes of 41 are backed up near downtown Sarasota. This is between 41 and Fruitville Road. Some congestion on Fruitville near that intersection as well. It may not only just be the traffic, but there is some rain in that area as well. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, the LGBTQ community and groups have hailed the latest move by the World Health Organization. Starting in 2022, the WHO's legislative body will no longer classify transgender people as mentally ill. And as Kim Hutcherson tells us, many say it's about time.
In a move activists say is long overdue, the World Health Organization will no longer classify transgender people as mentally ill. The UN agency is reclassifying gender incongruence, the term the agency uses for people whose gender identity differs from the gender they were assigned at birth. The term will be moved from the agency's chapter on mental health disorders and into one called sexual health. The agency and LGBTQ activists say the move will help improve social acceptance for transgender people and reduce stigma. The organization Transgender Europe says the previous classification contributed to discrimination, harassment, criminalization, and abuse based on gender identity. In a new description of gender incongruence, the WHO says gender variant behavior and preferences alone are not a basis for a mental health diagnosis. The change will be presented at the World Health Assembly in 2019 and will go into effect in 2022. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
For the first time, the FDA has given a cannabis-based drug its approval. The drug Epidiolex has been approved for treating 2 types of epileptic seizures. The twice-daily oral solution can be used in patients ages 2 and up. It is one of more than 80 active cannabinoid chemicals, yet unlike THC, it does not produce a high. The FDA has approved synthetic versions of some cannabinoid chemicals found in the marijuana plant for other purposes, including cancer and pain relief. Coming up, a man crawls out of a burning plane after a fiery crash and how one man prefers to beat his traffic on his daily commute. Those stories straight ahead.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease a new Subaru Impreza today for just $155 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like. Then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
2 people are dead after a fiery plane crash in Detroit. The aftermath all caught on camera. This is video of the sole survivor rolling out of the plane and getting to safety. 3 people were on board flying to Detroit from Arkansas. Police say the small plane first hit a tree and then flipped onto the ground around 8 last night. A witness and his friends jumped into action, pulling the only survivor out of the plane. The 2 others on board died. 2 people were killed in a small plane crash in Illinois Sunday morning. Take a look at the damage from this. The aircraft crashed about a half-mile away from Monmouth Airport in Warren County. The names of the victims were not released. The Federal Aviation Administration now investigating. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan is asking for federal assistance after severe flooding across the state last month. He said a previous request for disaster declaration in Frederick and Washington counties has been granted. This newest request covers damage in Baltimore and Howard counties and Baltimore City. A presidential disaster declaration would provide the state with federal aid for its ongoing recovery efforts.
Riders on a New York waterway ferry spotted something quite bizarre on the Hudson River. A man dressed in a full suit with a backpack was paddleboarding across the water. Scott Holt said he decided to paddle to work to save some money. Holt says it took him about a half hour to get across, but he says he did make his morning meeting on time. Still to come on your Suncoast News, a possible ambush leaves 1 firefighter dead and 1 wounded in California. Plus, where you can turn if you or a loved one is suffering from Alzheimer's. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Get to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the Chrysler Pacifica Incredible Sales Event. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota today.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. Tomorrow, Venice City Council will talk about approving 3 new hotels.
We'll tell you where developers want to bring more rooms to the city. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
So we are watching a general easterly wind flow continuing for several days in a row, taking showers and driving them to the coast. We'll talk about when that changes.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Thank you.
You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Thank you. What are you doing?
You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit helpsavethenextgirl.com and get involved.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Iguanas only reproduce 1 month out of the year.
That's because they suffer from erectile dysfunction.
According to the Department of Homeland Security, what color represents the lowest threat level?
Is Caucasian a color?
Which casino game has the best odds for a payout?
The ATM.
Funny you should ask. Weekdays at 4:30 and 11:30 on ABC7.